Okay, it is day 1 of reintroduction, and I chose to go with gluten. So basically how this is gonna work, I'm gonna have 3 meals of gluten today, but the tricky thing is that I still can't eat the other foods that I've still eliminated. So I have to be very careful, like I'm about to have a bagel, but I can't have cream cheese yet because I haven't introduced dairy and I don't want to mix the two. So I'm about to be having a bagel. I got a dozen bagels. Because I don't know if all bagels are, but these bagels are vegan. They don't have egg in them, because I haven't reintroduced egg yet. And I'm going to toast them with almond butter and with ghee. I'm so excited. So I'm just gonna have 3 meals of gluten today, and then we'll see how my stomach feels tomorrow. Okay, they smell so good. Gonna put some ghee on my bagel, and I'm gonna load it up because, you know, I've had a long time of elimination. Oh my god. Wow. Okay, gluten. She wins. Okay, we are making some turkey BLTs. Yummy turkey bacon. We've got some vegan eggs because we're not eating eggs yet. Jared's putting some ghee on our bagels. We've got some tomatoes and some arugula. So I'm in a weird spot right now because I am reintroducing foods, but I am trying to kind of avoid foods that I was eating when I was doing the elimination diet, because obviously there was something that I was eating that was causing me like perpetual stomach problems. So I'm trying to work on that reintroduction process. So like with gluten, I'm trying to eat a lot of gluten to see if that's gonna affect me. But I'm also trying to avoid the foods that I was eating on the elimination diet. So it's definitely like slimmed my opportunities for eating. I feel like I'm just like eating pasta and pasta and pasta right now. And I feel like when I start eating dairy tomorrow, it's gonna be the same thing. I'm just gonna eat like so much dairy because I don't wanna like taint it with any of the things that I was eating on the elimination diet. So I'm not having my normal smoothies. I'm not doing any of that stuff because I'm afraid that something in those smoothies or something in what I was regularly cooking was negatively affecting my gut. And I don't want my eating those things to make me think that I was actually having a problem with gluten or dairy or any of those. So, this is tough. First meal back with dairy. We had a really great first experience with gluten 2 days ago. If anything, it made my gut feel better. And so tonight we are making Cacio e Pepe, which is one of our favorite dishes to make. It's so simple. We use Chrissy Teigen's recipe. And is it Chrissy Teigen or Christy? I don't know. Anyway, it's super simple. We're going to be substituting chicken Italian sausage for regular Italian sausage tonight, and we are not going to be adding garlic because that's a high FODMAP food. But otherwise, we are super excited. I'm hoping, crossing my fingers, that this is gonna be a good experience because I love dairy, I love cheese. So hopefully this works out, and then we'll have a little bit more cheese tomorrow as well, just to kind of like really feel how that's working on my gut. Stay tuned. Okay, we had Cacio e Pepe last night, so that had a lot of Parmesan in it, and I felt fine. Today, I had a bagel with cream cheese this morning, still feel fine. Having some mac and cheese from Dig In, and we'll see how that goes. So far, gluten has been feeling totally good, and dairy's been feeling pretty good too, so. So last night and tonight I have reintroduced dairy into my diet, and I've definitely found out a few things. One, I think I'm in a kind of denial about dairy. I really don't want it to be true, but I do think I have a mild intolerance. I think that I've been a little gassy during this time, but I kind of expected, if I had an intolerance, for it to be like this big thing where like I had like really horrible stomach pain, like, and that hasn't happened. So I may have a mild intolerance to dairy, good thing to know. But something interesting that kind of came to my mind at dinner was that I feel like I'm at a place where I'm kind of just like, f it. You know, one of my big problems with diets in general, with diet culture, is just that I find them to be so unsustainable because they're so restrictive. And then you get to the end of your diet and then you're like, I'm just gonna binge eat everything I can find. And that's kind of where I'm at. You know, like when I look at Whole30, which is a type of elimination diet that is supposed to be to help your gut in the similar way that this elimination diet is supposed to help my gut. People are using it for weight loss, but then at the end of that 30 days, they're binging and they're starting to eat all of these foods that they're not supposed to be eating. And so like tonight, for example, we had pizza and I wasn't supposed to reintroduce pork yet, but we got sausage on it anyway. So I think I've just kind of gotten to the point in this elimination diet where like I want to be strict, I want to do it right, and I'm still trying to do that. But when we restrict our eating this much, it's really easy for that discipline to kind of go out the window and to kind of say, F it. So tomorrow I get to have coffee. I am so excited to have coffee, and we're gonna go from there. I think then we'll probably add in some sugar and then some eggs. But so far so good. I have been avoiding high FODMAP food still, and that's about it. So I woke Jared up at 7 a.m. because today is coffee day. Oh, we are so excited.
We're so asleep. We're so excited.
Oh my God. It tastes so good. Okay, so today I'm doing my kind of reintroduction of eggs. I realized when I was doing gluten that I accidentally ate eggs when I had pasta, because most pasta is made with eggs. I don't know why I didn't think about that. But I haven't really had any problem with the pasta, and I don't think I'll be having any problem with the eggs. So I just had a turkey bacon and egg sandwich. And I've done gluten, dairy, caffeine, and eggs now, and I think my next one's gonna be sugar. Good morning. I have to be kind of quiet because Jared is still sleeping. So I'm going to show you my scrambled egg recipe. It's not really a recipe, but there are just like a few things that you can do to your scrambled eggs to make them so much better. So we're gonna do that today. So one thing that I do that's a little different about most people's scrambled eggs is I don't mix my eggs. I want them to be kind of like separate, the eggs and the yolks. So I crack them right into the pan. I'm gonna add about a tablespoon of butter. This is another trick. Oil's fine for eggs, but butter like really makes them taste so much better. It's wild. You can also use ghee for this. It's the same. So we are going to let that butter melt, and then I'm going to crack 4 cage-free organic eggs into my pan. Again, I'm not really gonna mix them a lot. I'm gonna add some salt to it, and I'm going to do these eggs on a very, very low heat. So like a 3 or a 4. It takes a little bit longer that way, but they end up tasting so much better. Okay, gonna crack my 4 eggs. Add a little bit of salt. At this point you can add some cheese too, but I'm not really doing that today. But I am going to make some Ezekiel bread, because I get to have that now. So the eggs are now cooking, and they're slowly getting white, and I just want to kind of leave them like that. As soon as they start cooking a little bit more, then I can move them around a bit, but I don't want to scramble them necessarily. Adding a little bit of pepper. I'm mostly out. It's a bummer. Okay, I'm gonna mix it around just a little bit. Break the yolks. And my last tip for you is to make sure that you do not overcook them, because that like overcooking smell and taste is the worst. So they should be a little runny. Yep, these are done. So we will see how these eggs affect my gut. I'm really not sure. This could be a trigger food for me. I love butter. So this is the final result. Some apple cider vinegar in my water, some eggs with salt, and then some Ezekiel bread with butter. They're so heavy. And they're warm. Oh my god.
Right?
My first Levain cookie. Wow. It has been a little over a week since I started the reintroduction process after doing the elimination diet, and I think it's been pretty interesting. I haven't like technically reintroduced all the foods, but I've done the big ones. You know, I've done gluten, dairy, caffeine, eggs, pork, beef, soy, and I think that's it for now. And I haven't really had too many negative experiences. I think maybe I have a slight intolerance or sensitivity to dairy, but then I've had certain experiences where I don't have any negative experience toward dairy, so that's a little confusing. And this week has also been a little different because I made chicken for Jared and I think I gave us food poisoning, so like that was tough to kind of get an accurate sense of what foods we're doing. Because honestly, besides the food poisoning, I've been feeling a lot better in terms of, I don't know about energy wise, because I haven't really been doing smoothies, and I think that really is like a great way for me to kind of like jumpstart my day and give me energy. So I don't know if I've had like more energy, but in terms of like my gut, I've actually been feeling much better and like way less bloated and way less gassy and way less upset stomach. So just interesting. I think next week it will be interesting, you know, once I don't have any symptoms of this food poisoning that I gave myself. This is like the second time that I've cooked for a boyfriend and given them and me food poisoning. Shh, quiet. But yeah, so I'm looking forward to next week where I'm like actually figuring out what's going on with my stomach. I've also tried reintroducing a little bit of garlic and a little bit of onion, and that actually has been kind of fine too. So, you know, who really knows what's going on? I will say I'm definitely talking to my doctor about a probiotic to put that into my regimen, because I've read that you should do the elimination diet first and then kind of look at a probiotic, because there are tons of different probiotics and they all do different things, and there are a lot of different probiotics for different symptoms. So in some cases, people with IBS actually get worse from a probiotic. But if you do an elimination diet first, then your gut is like healthy enough to be able to break down that probiotic or prebiotic. It's all very interesting and a little confusing. And so I'm excited to kind of do a little bit more research and chat with you about what's going on there. Thank you for following along on this elimination diet reintroduction journey with me, because honestly, I know it probably got a little boring in the middle there. It was definitely not the most exciting thing that I've ever done. Well, maybe it was, because it was really kind of difficult and obnoxious to do. But again, I will reiterate that I'm glad that I did it. I think that I have a better understanding of how foods affect my gut, and I think I also was able to heal my gut a little bit. I think that's kind of what this reintroduction process has been telling me, is that like I can now eat all these foods and not have nearly as much of an effect as it would have had before. So talk soon.